How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Today I wanted to talk about where will you be in 5 years' time, right? Where will you be in 10 years' time? These years are going to go by so quickly. Think about 5 years ago, where you were 5 years ago. Think about 10 years ago, what was happening in the world 10 years ago. I mean, when you thought about your future then, did you think about that you will be in the place where you are now? Maybe in some areas of your life, probably not in every area of your life. The thing is that 10 years is going to happen for you, right? 5 years is going to happen, right? Regardless of what you do now, the time is still going to tick away, right? And before you know it, 10 years is going to be up. So who is the person that you want to be in 10 years' time, right? Who is the person you want to be in 5 years' time? Are you committed to making that person happen, to making those circumstances that will make that person happen, right? Are you willing to put in the effort that will take you from being the person you are now, being in the circumstances that you're in now, to being the person that you want to be, to being in those circumstances, to having the job that you want, to having the life that you want, to having the family that you want, the finances that you want? Are you willing to make that commitment to yourself now and to live up to that commitment? Like I say, 5 years will go by very quickly. 10 years will go by very quickly. Today is the time, right? It's the only time you've got where you can seize the moment, where you can say to yourself, this is where I'm going to start planning. This is where I'm going to start making things happen. This is where I'm going to lay the foundation stones for getting to that person I want to be in 10 years' time. If you put in the work and the effort, I guarantee you'll get there before even 10 years comes, That it's like getting the ball rolling, getting the snowball rolling down the hill. It's finding that momentum and getting that momentum moving. Once you do that, once you get the momentum moving, you're going to see things speeding up, accelerating. One thing that you learn helps you to learn the next thing, and the next thing that you learn helps you to learn the thing after that, and all of this knowledge starts to accumulate. You're accumulating knowledge about yourself, about what you're good at, what you're not so good at. What you're not so good at basically comes down to skills development. So you can either learn new skills so that you get better at the things that you're not too good at, or you get better at the things that you're good at to become excellent at those things. And you can, once you start on this road of skills development, you can learn the skills that you need to do almost anything that you want to do in life. When I stopped drinking 5 years ago, I mean, my entire aim was just to stop drinking, to get away from the alcohol, to change my life for the better, but to be a good role model for my son. That was the ultimate aim. And it was a fairly vague aim. I didn't really have any idea about how I was going to get there. I didn't have any idea about how I could get there, how to make that happen. I knew that the first thing that I needed to do was to stop drinking, because that was something that was, it was not only affecting my life, it was affecting how I was coming across to him, right? I was just coming across as a drunk. I was being a drunk in my life, and that's the way I was perceived. Just because of that one fundamental change that I made in my life, getting rid of alcohol, it led to more and more changes. You once you get rid of something like this, you start to open up your mind. Your mind opens up just because you've stopped drinking, right? Because you're not dampening down your thoughts and your moods. I mean, a lot of the time when I was drinking, it was because I wanted to get out of my head, as they say in Ireland, get out of my face. I didn't want to be in this reality, and this reality was caused by the alcohol. Any of the times where I would try to take one step forward, I would automatically take one step backwards as well, 2 step backwards, 3 step backwards, right? So I was never making any real forward progress. No matter what parts of my life I looked at or I look back on, I can see now the drift the mental drift, the physical drift, the drift in my finances, the drift in my thinking, and all of this adds up and adds up and adds up and accumulates. And before you know it, you're just living a life that you don't want to live, and you drink then just because you don't want to live in that life and you want to get out of that life. So, I can't be further away from my old life now, where I love every single moment of my life. I get up in the morning and I'm buzzing about what I'm going to do during the day. I start out my day every single morning with an 8.5 kilometre walk, where I set my head up straight. I drink plenty of water in the morning, which hydrates my body. I eat good food, which feeds my body, feeds my mind. And that would have been just so far away from who I was, who I thought it was. I thought that being a tough bloke was like the John Wayne sort of a character, right? Who smokes and drinks and eats crap foods, but because he's doing that, that's what defines a man. And that's my impression of a man. How much bullshit is that? The guy died an absolute horrible death, And most of these people who live lives like that, their quality of life is crap for a start, right? But then the end, they don't go out in a blaze of glory, I mean, maybe people like James Dean, they were right to sort of go out the way they did because, what was left for them, I don't know if that's true or not, but you know what I mean. So I'm just saying that, changing that one aspect of my life has just changed so many different things about my life. And it all started with that one goal, to be the best role model that I could be for my son, and to start out with that one fundamental change in my life, which was to change the alcohol. Once I did that, then other things started to happen bit by bit by bit. But I just wanted to sort of say that, where will you be in 5 years' time? Where will you be in 10 years' time? Ask yourself that now. Sit down and think about it, Spend a half an hour thinking about this, because it's probably the most important part, most important thinking that you'll ever do in your life, Figuring out what you're going to do. And once you figure out where you're going to go, then you can figure out how you're going to get there. You can figure out the first step. Like I said many times, it was never my intention to get where I am today, because I didn't know how to get here. I didn't know that this existed. I didn't know that I could get to being this person and liking it. I didn't know how to be this person, because all I knew was living the life that I could live. But it comes around. It takes time for it to come about, but it's a gradual, dynamic process that happens over time. It happens bit by bit by bit, and you add, you build, you construct things bit by bit by bit until you've got something substantial in your life. And once you get that, you're never going to go back. You're never going to go back. And think about things. When you're thinking about your 5 and 10 year plans, these are not written in stone, right? So you could get to a year down the road and you might think, well, that goal that I originally wanted to get to, I don't want to get to anymore. Instead, I want to go to this other place. And you can change. You can change bits and pieces about it. You can change the whole thing. But it's the getting started part and getting on that good road, rather than sliding down the bad road. That's what you want to do. That's the most important part of this, is to get going in a positive direction. So I'll leave it there. If you have any questions at all, leave them down below in the comment section. If you want to sign up for our Alcohol Mastery Starter Pack, it's got 3 different courses in it, a couple of different ebooks and a couple of other bits and pieces, then you can go over to alcoholmastery.com. Just leave your name and address, name and email address in the box at the beginning of the web page there, and I'll send it out to you straight away. Until next time, I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Take care of yourself, keep the alcohol out of your mouth, onwards and upwards. Good luck, bye now.